the 7th edition of Forbes Women Africa Leading Women Summit is kicking off today. The theme for this two-day event is Resetting Everything, the New Face of Leadership. This fully virtual summit will bring together female leaders from various sectors, including science, technology, governance, and philanthropy. Joining us now for a sense of what's ahead, let's bring in Forbes Africa Managing Editor Renuka Mithil, who is live to us from Abu Dhabi this morning. Renuka, it's lovely to have you on the program. Thanks so much indeed for making time to chat to us. The theme this year is very interesting. I'll mention it once again, Resetting Everything, the New Face of Leadership. My understanding is that there's also going to be quite a diverse lineup of speakers. What are you hoping those who attend the summit take from it?
Thank you so much for having me on the show this morning. Happy International Women's Day, and I'd like to wish the men as well. There are some very good certified men who can be allies to this movement. So happy International Women's Day to you as well. So thank you for that question. It's a very loaded question, to be honest. Resetting everything, the new face of leadership. This year, that's the theme that we've gone with. Simply because I think this is the year, after 2 pandemic years, this is the year that we're resetting, recalibrating, rescripting everything for Africa and every industry, every sector. And that's why we have a diverse collection of women global speakers and representing a diverse assortment of industries and sectors. It's very important to convene and reconvene such forums simply because, you're looking for connections. And this summit for the last 7 years, this is the 7th annual edition, we've always served to be a connector, creating like-minded communities and creating that sense of, belonging for people. And I think it's very important to have such forums because ultimately it's the multiplier effect. You're getting women with multiple reference points from around the world, but with a very strong affinity, with a very strong connection for Africa. You're getting them to talk about how they triumphed during the pandemic, or what are their lessons from today that they can give young leaders of tomorrow or the young leaders of today. What are the things that they have learned that they can share and impart with them? So I think this is the year that we will see a new cadre of leadership emerging from the cracks of the pandemic. And even if you look in the social entrepreneurship space, there's so many new so-called accidental entrepreneurs that have come to the fore. We even have a panel discussion on that later on day 2, that is tomorrow. And, with people fired and furloughed and, lives being restarted. So it's about rejigging everything. And I think it's now time to re-examine how women come to the fore. We have 2 halves of the population, and we need to bring the entire collective humanity together to face some of the greatest health and human crises of our time.
Yeah, speaking about bringing a diverse set of experiences together, I understand the Namibian First Lady, Monica Geingob, is also going to be speaking. I mean, are there any specific talking points that you're hoping she'll be able to touch on? Certainly one of the speakers to look forward to.
No, we have the Namibian First Lady. We were very lucky to have her accept our invitation. If you look at her, I mean, there's always this perception that African First Ladies are mere shadows of the presidents. Of the president. And, with her, she's been a lawyer, she's been an entrepreneur even before she became the First Lady in 2015. So I want to delve into some of those experiences. How did she become an entrepreneur? How did she become a lawyer? And now that she's in the public eye, what are the kind of stereotypes that she is facing even today? If you look at it, Africa has 54 countries, but very few female presidents. In fact, on day 2, our closing keynote is with the Tanzanian president, one of a handful of female presidents on the African continent. So with Mrs. Monica Geingob, definitely we're going to be dwelling on what it is like to break barriers in the public eye, what it is like to, face some of those stereotypes and even cyberbullying. She's been a victim of some of the trolls on social media. And how has she faced that backlash? And how do you bring that sort of gender equality, also equity in the online space? Why is it that women in the public eye are always targeted? So those will be some of the points that we will be looking at today.
Yeah, there's obviously some people who are going to be watching this Women's Summit and feel, I guess, a bit cautiously optimistic about what can actually be achieved in a context where hopefully we are hoping to get to a world where we don't necessarily have woman anythings because, you know, everything is equal. I hope you get the sentiment I'm trying to convey here as cautiously as I can. How do we, I guess, not allow those fears overshadow really the kind of objectives that you have as a summit today?
Well, I think we've lived with those fears for the last 100 years, to be honest, and look at how far we've come. And the whole idea, I mean, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So I think, you know, when you look at these role models, and those are the fears that we need to dispel, how did they do it in a male-dominated world? It wasn't easy for them sitting in a boardroom with, you know, 10 other men and never having their voice heard. So how do you break through that noise? And I think those are some of the lessons, and these are ongoing lessons. It's work in progress. And some of the people that we have are clear role models. And I'd really encourage a lot of young people to watch because they need to be visible. They need to be heard. And these are, you know, it's several women crossing multiple time zones to come into one virtual stage as one collective audience. To speak to all of us. So just tap into the experiences and network with them later. I think that it's just always the beginning of something new. And as I said, it's a multiplier effect. From the beginning, I said there's a sense of community that such forums will foster, and that's what we are aiming to do. Absolutely. Well, wish you all the best for the next 2 days. Certainly something to look out for. Renuka Mithil is the Forbes Africa Managing Editor. Live to us there from Abu Dhabi. Renuka, once again, thanks very much indeed for your time.